Hey guys, it's Anna and welcome to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because one of my favorite makeup brands, Anastasia Beverly Hills, just released a bunch of new products. So today's video is all about their new spring launch, starting with the Soft Glam Eyeshadow Palette. This is beautiful, and I'm going to give you guys a look inside. This retails for $42, and I did take out the little brush that came with it. This is what it looks like, just like their usual brushes that come with the palettes, and the brushes are actually really good. It's going to cater towards people who like to have more neutral eyeshadow looks, and honestly, I feel like that's everyone, because while there are people who love to explore and do the colorful, you can't go wrong with a neutral eyeshadow look. Everyone does them. They also finally came out with bronzers, so they have 6 new powder bronzers. The one I picked up is in the shade Rich Amber. And of course, we have the new Amrezy Highlighter, which is just like, hello. Like if I came out with a highlighter, I'd be pulling these kind of vibes because this is just beautiful. There was so much thought just going into the packaging alone with this highlighter. This also retails for $28, and as you can see, it's a beautiful light champagne gold. They also released several new liquid lipstick shades, but I didn't pick any of those up because it's not a new item, it's not a new formula, and I just recently bought like so many of her liquid lipsticks, so I just needed to like lay off for a bit. But other than those liquid lipsticks, we have the entire spring collection to review. So if you guys want to know my thoughts on this new collection, a tutorial, review, swatches, all that stuff, then go ahead and keep watching. So here are what the swatches look like for the eyeshadow palette, obviously. So from top to bottom, we have Tempera, Glistening, Orange Soda, Rose Pink, Sultry, Bronze, Mulberry, Dusty Rose, Fairy, Burnt Orange, Sienna, Rustic, Cypress Umber, and Noir. So now I'm going to go ahead and jump into the tutorial. That sounded really fumbled. Into the tutorial. So this is the Soft Glam palette in all of its glory. It is so beautiful, and I cannot wait to play with these shadows today. Anastasia shadows are very near and dear to my heart, so I'm expecting a lot from this palette. So for my transition shade, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the shade Burnt Orange. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this in windshield wiper motions. So far it looks like it just has the same amount of fallout as the Modern Renaissance palette. Then I'm going to go ahead and pick up the shade Sienna, and I'm just using the fluffier end of the brush that comes with the palette, and I'm going to go ahead and add this to the crease to slowly deepen it up. I'm not going to bring this all the way in, but for the majority of the crease. And then for my outer corner, I'm going to pick up the shade Mulberry, which is a beautiful reddish brown color. And then using the shorter side to the Anastasia brush. Oh, holy cow, that packs a punch. Hello, pigment. So I'm just concentrating this on the outer V and then applying a bit of it to my crease as well. And I'll just blend out the edges a little bit with the fluffier side. And then for my all over lid shade, I'm going to pick up the shade Bronze. I cleaned off the little packing brush. This is the first color that my eyes went to when I saw this palette because it looks so beautiful and metallic. I might wet my brush because I want this to really pack a punch. I don't know if it's just me, but I see like the slightest green tint to it. Like it's more golds to me with a hint of bronze and a hint of green to it, but I absolutely love this shade. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this into the outer corner a bit. Then I'm gonna wet my brush with some setting spray because this is not quite as foiled as I want it to be. This is what I'm talking about. So with this palette, I would definitely recommend doing your eyes first and then going in with your face makeup because as you can see, we have a bit of fallout on my cheeks right here. So I'm gonna go off camera, do my foundation, concealer, powder, brows, all of that jazz, and then I will come back and we will finish off the eyes together. All right, the face is done. Please excuse the dryness. My face has been so dehydrated lately, so if certain parts of my makeup look a little bit dry, it's my freaking face. But once the makeup is done, I'm going to drench my face in setting powder, so that should help. So for my lower lash line, I'm going to go ahead and dip it back into Sienna, and then I'm just meeting that up with the somewhat winged out shape that we have on the lid. For my highlight, I'm going to pick up the shade Fairy. It's a little bit more yellow toned than the shade above it, Glistening. This is a little bit more champagne gold. So we're going to use this to highlight the inner corner as well as the brow bone. I'm really liking this fairy shade. It has such a beautiful multi-dimensional glow. It has like this yellow, green, gold shift to it. It's so beautiful. All right, so the eye look is done. I think it looks sick. Like the multi-dimensional shifts in some of these shadows are so beautiful. The mattes are stunning, pigmented, blendable. I'm loving this palette so far. So now onto the bronzer. I picked up mine in the shade Rich Amber, and this is what it looks like. And then the compact looks exactly the same as their blush trios. I love this compact. It's so like timeless and classy to me. Anastasia's packaging is just everything. I always love it. So they have 6 different shades, which is absolutely incredible. I honestly do not see enough deep bronzers for people with darker skin. It's just not fair. It's like, how are you supposed to bronze your skin with such a like medium looking bronzer? So I'm so happy that Anastasia came out with a bang with these bronzer shades. This shade specifically is a bit too dark for what I normally like to go for my bronzers. I like it to be a bit more warm toned and a bit lighter than this, so I'm a little nervous because online the pictures looked a lot lighter than this. The bronzers have a whole bunch of different undertones. They have olive, warm, and cool. This one specifically has an olive undertone, so hopefully this works okay for my skin tone. I'm a little bit nervous, but we're gonna try it out. Let's use this as a contour to start off with. Okay, so far we're doing all right. I tapped off a lot on my brush because I was so scared, and I do not have a lot on my brush at all when I was dipping into here. There's actually no fallout at all when I dig my brush into this. Like, look at that. Dang, this is gonna last you forever. So with a very light hand, because I just don't want to go through the effort of having to return makeup. That's such a pain in the butt. So hopefully I can make this work for me. Well, so far, as you can see, this is pulling a bit warm on my skin tone, which I love. So when you compare it to the pan, your girl already dug her nail into it. Are you freaking kidding? Whatever, it's a tiny little scratch. And now we're gonna go in with the bronzing. So here we go. I think I can actually make this color work, you guys. It looks pretty intimidating in the pan, but if you go in lightly and you're just building this up, honestly, I think it looks beautiful. Look at that sad little bun. What is that? So this is the bronzer all applied. I think I made the color work. I don't think it's too dark for me, and I'm loving the undertone. I can definitely see that olive undertone that it claims to have, and it makes me look like I'm fake tanned, which I guess bronzer essentially does that. And then for the part that I just might be most excited for, I have the new Anastasia Amrezy Highlighter. This packaging, girl, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. And when you open up the compact, it is breathtaking. Look at that, it's blinding the camera. It has these insane, beautifully textured waves in the highlighter. It looks stunning in person. I literally gasped when I opened this up for the first time, and then it has this rose gold rim. They just killed it with the design and packaging of this product, and now we're gonna give the formula a test. So I'm taking my Morphe M510 brush, and hello, there's literally no fallout at all. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh. That is so pretty. Very natural on the first application. So let's see if this is buildable. Oh my gosh, that looks so stunning. That literally melts into the skin. It doesn't look powdery at all. This is honestly making my cheekbones look so glossy and wet. I'm loving this. And you can't see it at all when I'm facing forward, but then when I turn, bam. This is such a buildable highlighter, and I can really appreciate that because I know not everyone wants that like bang metallic finish. Honestly, I wouldn't describe this as a metallic finish. It really does look like a sheen and one with the skin. You know what it is? I know why this highlighter is so good. it's foolproof. Like, you can't go too heavy with this highlighter. It's not going to look too powdery. It's not going to look like a stripe. It's not going to look fake. It's going to look so glowy, like that glow from within, angelic. Hey, I just walked out of like a Victoria's Secret swimsuit photo shoot catalog. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you know what I'm talking about. It just gives that amazing, beautiful glow from within, but yet blinding glow, but not if you don't want it to, because like I built this up quite a bit. So other than the lipsticks, all the new Anastasia Spring Launches are on my face, and I am loving how my makeup looks today. I feel so honestly beautiful, put together, classy, like glam, but it's not like so crazy. It's still so wearable. I cannot wait to use these products more. I'm just so excited right now. My heart's like pumping, which is a given. Otherwise, I want to be filming a video right now, but you know, faster than usual. So I'm just going to run through the products one more time, just give my final thoughts and notes. So let's start off with the Anastasia Soft Glam Palette. I love that they're keeping the whole velvet palette thing a thing. I think it's so classy, and it just makes all the palettes look really nice together. Of course, it is going to get dirty, so that's a downside, but as far as like appearance wise, I really like it, and I feel like this is a very appropriate color for the color scheme inside. You have reddish browns, you have normal browns, you have bronzes, you have golds, you have oranges, you have your rosy colors, you have a black. Like, you have so many everyday shades in here, and I feel like that was the one thing Anastasia was lacking in their collection. I'm always noticing that Anastasia continually thinks outside of the box when it comes to her products and her color schemes. When you look at the Prism palette and the Subculture and the Modern Renaissance, those palettes were all so different from what you usually see on the market. And this palette right here, although there are so many everyday wearable, you know, soft glam palettes out there, I feel like this is still different from the usual that you see. And I feel like it's so nice to finally see that wearable everyday palette in her brand for those of us who like to have softer glam. In my opinion, these shades perform just like the Modern Renaissance shades. They're beautiful, they're buttery, they're so pigmented. And yes, these shades definitely do have more fallout than the typical palette does, but it's not so ridiculous and out there like the Subculture palette had. So for me, this was a definite hit. Moving on to the bronzer, they killed it with the shade range. I'm so proud of them for being so inclusive. The bronzer is pigmented, it blended nicely. I would just say, like, my only little note, it's not anything negative, but my personal favorite bronzer formula is like the ColourPop bronzers, the Body Shop bronzers, the Physicians Formula Butter bronzer. Those bronzers all have one thing in common, and that's that they blend so perfectly and seamlessly, like so airbrushed on the skin. They're foolproof bronzers that just looked perfect every single time. So I don't have anything negative to say about this bronzer. I think the bronzer is actually great. There's not a lot that you can say about a bronzer because it's just like a bronzer. It's a pretty simple makeup product. But if I'm going to be super nitpicky and just talk about like my all-time favorite bronzers, it doesn't have that same exact super creamy airbrushed formula, but I do think it looks beautiful on the skin. Like, there's no patchiness. It has a great pigmentation. Like, there's really nothing bad to say about this bronzer. And as for the highlighter, I'm going to hold it at a weird angle, otherwise it's just going to blind you guys. But I think you know I'm already absolutely obsessed. I'm going to be using this highlighter all of the time because, as I said earlier, this is just foolproof. It doesn't look powdery on the skin. It looks so natural and blended so seamlessly into my skin. It looks glossy. It doesn't have a strong color undertone, so I feel like this is going to flatter a lot of different skin tones. It caters to everyone's highlighting preferences because you can make it super natural or you can build it up to be super blinding. This is just stunning, and I think Amrezy and Anastasia killed it with this highlighter. And also, I didn't say this earlier, but it doesn't emphasize texture at all, which I feel like is very important to have in a highlighter as well. Like, truthfully, this applied the way that a cream or liquid highlighter would apply. It just looks perfect. It just looks perfect. All right, you guys, so that is all for me today. I'm going to shut this camera off. I'm going to get to editing straight away because I want to get this video out pronto, because you guys need to know about this new launch and how good it is. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give this one a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. If you might want to see me in any more videos, I would appreciate it so much. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Maybe it's a tutorial, maybe it's a video. My next video. Bye.